All right, we're getting set up over here. You know, you can lose weight on popular diet plans. With low-calorie diets, you may also be losing your ability to burn fat, actually. If you starve your body, sometimes your body starts holding on to fat. It actually slows your metabolism. We'll talk about tricking your body and losing weight. Also, you can lose muscle first because muscle takes more calories to hold on to. So, you know, you lose the muscle first, sometimes hold on to the fat. Have you ever seen people, they lose weight? Dr. Tom Demaro with us. They lose weight, and what happens is they end up flabby. You ever notice that?
Yes, yes.
So, Dr. Tom Demaro, he's a naturopath with integrative weight loss, and he's with, first of all, let's talk about what you do, okay?
Sure.
You help people not just with weight, but with health.
Yes, if actually, once you get healthy, you maintain your weight or lose weight. When you start to put on weight, it's the start of the disease process. Weight gain is a symptom.
Yeah, now, we're going to have you test body fat.
Mm-hmm.
Why body fat? This is something you do in the clinic. Why?
Well, body fat, like you were saying before, losing weight, your scale at home tells you just your pounds. It doesn't tell you fat pounds, muscle, whatever.
And if you lose lean muscle, it's not a good thing.
No, you're slowing the metabolism. For every pound of muscle you lose the ability to burn roughly 50 calories per day.
Right.
So when you go on a starvation diet, you lose muscle.
Now, muscle helps you burn fat because muscle keeps your metabolism burning because it takes more to be muscle than to be fat.
Exactly, exactly.
So, protein is good for muscle, exercise is good for muscle, the right kinds of foods. If you starve, bad for muscles because your body actually starts surrendering muscle and holding on to fat.
Exactly right, Tom. And then when you start to increase your calories, there's a diet out there now, 500 to 800 calories. People lose all this ridiculous amount of weight, short period. It's muscle, it's not fat. And as soon as they go up to a 1,200 calorie diet, that's that yo-yo diet, they're putting on more fat.
And people do not realize the importance of good fat in a diet. They say, oh, no fat, low fat, this fat, that fat. Is fat good?
Yes, you have to have good fat, yes. Omega oils are good fat, fish oil is good fat, and avocado is good fat, olive oils.
And as crazy as this sounds, none of that fat turns to fat.
No, not at all.
Cholesterol doesn't turn to cholesterol. Things that you eat don't turn into things except sugar.
Sugar, carbohydrates, carbs turn into sugar.
Now,
starchy carb turns to sugar, sugar equals fat, that's it.
That causes you more fat than fat.
Right, exactly.
And it causes you more cholesterol than cholesterol.
Yeah, it can raise your cholesterol. Yes.
So let's talk about healthy weight loss.
Okay.
What do you do, and what's this going to tell us?
Well, this unit here is going to actually tell us your BMI, your body mass index, but it's actually going to tell you in pounds and percentage of how much fat's in your body.
How can it tell how much fat's in your body?
I'm not an engineer, but the way they explain it to me is it sends a little current through the body, and then the computer measures the resistance between bone and muscle.
And muscle has more resistance. So let's bring up our first subject. Alyssa, our intern, has volunteered for this. Now you need bare feet.
Bare feet, and I just need you.
I
put in your height already and your age, so you just need to
your height and your weight is in there?
Her age and her height are right in there.
But then this will measure weight and body
fat,
right?
Yeah, it'll print out everything.
She's
tell us
pretty
the percentage.
brave. She's pretty
brave.
brave.
I don't think we're going to have too bad of a reading here.
Okay, now make sure your heel's on that metal there.
Yeah, you're on. Yeah, you're good.
Good thing you had a pedicure.
Not.
What? Oh. Okay.
Okay, so it's measuring right now.
Wow. She's lean.
She's lean.
You're very lean.
9.3% body fat.
That's athletic.
That's an athlete. I mean,
do you work out?
We don't have to say much
about that.
That's
athletic, or you just thin, or is this just natural?
But on here, Tom, I don't know if you can see that. It's going to tell you the percentage of body fat, which we already know is 9.3. But also it has down here fat mass. And
fat mass means what?
Well, that's the pounds of fat you're carrying around. And Melissa's only carrying around 10 pounds of fat. But then we have
that doesn't mean you need to lose 10 pounds.
No, that's just the fat in her body.
Wow, that's not
right now she doesn't really need to lose anything.
Not a lot of fat.
But she's carrying around what is called fat-free mass, which is bone, muscle, organs. And if anything changes there, it's always your muscle. And she's carrying around actually 99 pounds of bone, fat, muscle.
Now, what about someone who drinks a lot and eats a lot of bad food and smokes and all of that?
Well, they're going to have a higher fat content.
Let's find out. Let's bring someone up here. Come on,
okay.
I always use him as my guinea pig here. All right, come on
Mike,
up. Mike
I need
is
to know
the call
your
screener
height.
here and my radio producer. Jen's the TV producer. Go ahead. See, Jen won't let me use her. Okay.
Oh, how old were you?
43.
Well, I put you down at 51, but let me clear that. 43, and you're 5'11"?
Okay, Mike.
One
Thank
second,
you for
Mike.
doing this. Did he say he was 5'11"?
5'11", yeah.
All right. I thought you were 6 something, but okay.
Oh,
An
it
error.
didn't
So
take
much
it.
fat. What does
let's
that
get
mean?
off.
Okay, get off.
Let's just.
I think
you got on a
okay,
little
now
fast.
let's talk. While you're doing that,
Sure.
if you can, keep doing it.
Okay.
You have an infrared sauna as well.
Yes, we do.
And that's for detoxification.
Well, it's detoxification to help melt fat.
Yeah, and here
also.
it is right here. So what this does is this can stimulate the metabolism as well. This is part of his overall whole body approach. And we're not talking necessarily about, when we talk about whole body, a lot of people think in terms of
Here we go.
conventional holistic clinics. This is not that type. You look for disease, you look for imbalance.
Well, in order to gain weight, you're going to have the disease process, right? The imbalance is going to be there on the adrenal glands, on an imbalance of blood sugar.
How is that
Mike
body
is
fat?
at 26.4% fat.
Is that a lot?
That's not too
that
bad.
is
Not
it?
too bad at all. If you want, I would like to get him down to about 20%, and we'd be happy.
But that's pretty good, Mike.
That's pretty good. But what that translates into,
No, it's not bad. I mean, I would have been way over
you're
that.
carrying almost 52 pounds of fat, 51.8 pounds of fat, and 144 of fat-free mass. Now, what we do at the clinic...
So, in other words, he has Alyssa, one of his arms is Alyssa right there. Okay.
What we do at the clinic is to monitor you. Looking at the top figure of 196 is not going to tell us much, but if you're losing muscle, we know we can adjust your
So that's
protein
cool.
level.
So you have them come in and weigh in and muscle in.
Well, yeah, we're always checking this
All
to
right.
know if they're eating correctly, and we
All right,
have
Mike,
to change
thank you.
the diet.
Appreciate it. And, of course, the diet. Come on back over here. The diet is important. What do you recommend? Good fats, low carbs, protein, what else?
Well, yeah, protein and good carbs, good veggies, okay?
Yes,
We stay away
fiber.
from starchy veggies, fiber. You need fiber. So when we have a circle that we usually show people, and what it is building muscle, okay, with protein, keeping blood sugar balanced. That's the key, is balancing your blood sugar. You can't gain weight unless you have an imbalance of blood sugar, high and low. You can't gain a pound, no matter who you are. And fiber is going to help do that. Protein helps it, but it also builds muscle. And then we have healthy fats, which is going to also help bring down inflammation.
Talk about, this is important. We're not talking high protein.
No.
Protein turns to what if you have too much of it?
Protein turns to sugar.
And that is just as bad as eating too many carbs.
Yes, it is.
So
and
what
it's
would
hard
you
on your kidneys and everything.
So what do you do for supplements?
Well, in supplements, we do give them a whey shake and a protein supplement for the liver to make more metabolic enzymes so that we can metabolize fat.
Oh.
Fat doesn't just disappear. We need to metabolize it. And if our liver's overworked and doesn't have enough metabolic enzymes to get rid of the toxic overload of hormones and toxins,
Yes.
we're not metabolizing fat. So we're not, where does it go? It stays in our body. So we also upregulate the liver pathways.
Integrative Health Weight Loss and Detox Center. So we're going to talk about this. Do you have any specials for our people today? We didn't mention any.
Well, we're going to have the first 25 callers
Yes.
come in and get a free health consult where I go over your health history. I spend at least a half hour or more with you.
Okay, and you give them a tour of the facility.
And give them a tour of the facility. And also, we also give $200 off our 12-week program.
So no obligation. They get a free consult, and they get money off the program if they decide to go on. First 25 callers. Here's the number, 303-586-5999. I hope you can see by talking to Dr. Tom that it's not a gimmick. He really looks at your body and really tries to figure out the imbalances, and part of that's inflammation.
That's the key. Inflammation is the start of all disease.
And when we talk about inflammation, we're talking about inside your body, inflammation. It's kind of an infectious state, and it comes from what?
Well, it will start with an imbalance of blood sugar, high sugar, low blood sugar.
303-586-5999, Diet Detox Center.com. By the way, if you have any questions on anything you've just seen, you can give us a call, 303-MARTINO. I'll ask Dr. Tom to stick around for a little while, Tom Demaro.